All right. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on this great episode of your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, there is so much tension in Nigeria right now as the mismanagement of the country by the APC continues to hit new and atrocious levels. As the End Bad Governance protest drew closer to an end, protesters began to tell the federal government that they will soon be back. And after just 4 days, everything is pointing to another national shutdown. Yesterday, the government, hiding under the name marketers, made it clear that even with local refineries, Nigerians will not buy petrol cheap in this country. They still want to sell at 650 naira per litre, even with local refineries, and Nigerians went crazy. This time around, I skipped through about 3,000 comments, and I couldn't find even one Nigerian viewing the matter through tribal or religious lenses. Everybody was just boiling, and I said, yes, this is the mindset for a revolution. Few days ago, our sources told us that there was a surge in the number of foreigners leaving Nigeria as a result of strong intel they have received that massive protest and chaos is loading again in Nigeria. And shortly after their statement, protests broke out in Ondo State to signal the beginning of what is to come. And I was particularly excited with this protest because this is the same Ondo State that refused to join the End Bad Governance protest. The End Bad Governance protest began in northern Nigeria. This time around, the Southwest is beginning the second round of the protest from a state that refused to join the first one. And these are just dress rehearsals to what is to come. Before I show you that protest in Ondo State and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this massive update that has turned Nigeria upside down. This administration is moving a motion to legally bind Nigerians with chains. This is clearly a move to legally enslave the people and institutionalize evil. Look at how the papers reported it. House of Reps seeks 10-year prison sentence, 5 million naira fine for Nigerians who refuse to recite national anthem. The House of Representatives has introduced the Counter-Subversion Bill 2024, which aims to impose stringent penalties on Nigerians who fail to recite the national anthem. The bill, sponsored by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, is set for its second reading, where its general principles will be debated. The bill stipulates that anyone found guilty of destroying national symbols, refusing to recite the national anthem and pledge, defacing a place of worship with intent to incite violence, or undermining the federal government shall face a fine of 5 million naira, a 10-year prison sentence, or both. Meanwhile, it states that anyone who sets up an illegal roadblock, performs unauthorized traffic duties, imposes an illegal curfew, or organizes an unlawful procession will be subject to a fine of 2 million naira, 5 years in prison, or both upon conviction. However, the bill imposes a fine of 4 million naira or a 2-year prison sentence for anyone convicted of insulting, defaming, embarrassing, or bringing into disrepute the leadership of a community, religion, lawful group, local government, state, or federal government. Can you imagine this? 4 million naira fine or a 2-year prison sentence for anyone convicted of insulting a religious leader, local government, state, or federal government. What this bill is directly saying is that we can do anything we want and none of you has the right to speak. Freedom of speech is practically being taken away from the common man with this bill. They are not only set to keep the people poor forever, they want to ensure that the people don't have an opinion about it. They want to ensure that the people are not even able to speak about it. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Super Negro says, if this thing pass, make we know say we don't enter military regime. The people have to rise up to make sure it doesn't pass. And this tweet here says, this is the best time to protest this. This is taking us back to military dictatorship era. Tulumbu. And Okwade Sodiq here says, the bill is just one-sided. None has talked about what will happen to any political officer indulged in money laundering. And Tor here says the bill is to protect the politicians to go ahead and do as they wish. No one will dare question them. That is what it is. Do you want them to pass a bill that will restrict them from stealing? It is the people that will say no. And this tweet here by Zadi says, Nigerians who think they have a chance make me laugh. It is either they fight or submit. There is no in between. There is no dialogue. There is no third option. That is exactly what it is. And this tweet here says, before they arrest me for national anthem, Akpabio and his Senate members would have to sing it first. None of them can sing it. And they are expecting the people to sing it. And this tweet by Yemi of Lagos says, why is Tinubu doing everything to stop any protest? Man is a coward. If he was president during NSAS, there will be no Nigeria by now. Well, that is by the way. The major focus now is that this bill must not go through and Nigerians must rise up to make sure it doesn't. And at this point, I expect the opposition parties to join Nigerians in speaking out and even inciting a massive protest starting immediately. Nigerians are already saying they will shut down National Assembly. Yes, Peter Obi and Atiku must start speaking up now. Because if this bill passes through, there is no need to contest any election in 2027. It means Nigeria is completely in the hands of APC. No need to say you are doing any other thing. The opposition must be at their loudest now. In fact, they must openly sponsor the protest against this bill because this is a pro-Nigerian protest and this bill is an anti-Nigerian bill. Point blank, period. Now, let us look at that protest in Ondo State. And like I said, I love this protest because it is coming from Ondo State, a state that refused to join the End Bad Governance protest. The same way 60 people were slaughtered in Benue State. We are not celebrating their death, but they refused to join the protest and they began protesting immediately after the protest. Now look at the news coming out of Ondo State. Women protest half naked in Ondo over killings, kidnappings of farmers by bandits. Disturbed by the growing insecurity in the Akoko area of Ondo State, a group of concerned women staged a peaceful protest, with some of them partially naked, to condemn the ongoing violent killings and kidnappings by suspected herdsmen. Mostly elderly, the women marched through the streets to express their distress over the frequent killings, kidnappings, and the destruction of their farmlands by armed bandits. The protest took place shortly after a farmer, Sunday Ayeni, was brutally murdered on his land following a disagreement with herdsmen who had invaded and destroyed his crops. Mr. Ayeni's lifeless body, along with his hunting dog, was discovered by a search party in the community over the weekend. As a result of this development, farmers have been forced to abandon their farmlands due to fear of potential attacks by the intruders. During a security meeting held at the palace of the notable traditional ruler of Oka, the Olubaka of Oka, Adebori Adeleye, many of the women, some without head coverings, voiced their demands for justice for the victims of the incessant attacks. A spokesperson for the women, Abigail Ojo, claimed that some of the suspected herdsmen had raped them on their farms and destroyed their crops in the process. Mrs. Ojo, while sharing their experiences, stated that they had abandoned their farms and were determined not to return until there was adequate security and protection. We cannot tolerate these senseless killings any longer. All of these has to stop, she said in the local language. She appealed to the security agencies for assistance in finding lasting solutions to their problems. But Ondo State women, where were you people when other states were rising against the bad governance that led to all these? Where were you people? This is the same Ondo State where bandits entered a church in Owo on a Sunday morning and finished about 50-something people. And it is shocking that Ondo and Benue two of the states most hit by insecurity, joined two other states apart from Southeast to boycott the End Bad Governance protest. What a shame. And now you are coming out to say what? Well, get ready. This is the beginning of the mother of protest. Put on your thinking caps as elderly women. Don't allow anybody to deceive you with tribalism and 2 noodles of rice. Put on your thinking caps and be ready to fight for your rights. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Balatic says, my Southwest folks, buy APC. Before APC, buy you. I don't talk my own. And Sheung here tagged the National Assembly. He tagged the Senate, tagged the House of Reps, tagged the Speaker and other politicians. And he said, these are the issues you should take seriously, not trying to stifle people from protesting. We should be grateful the 10-day protest didn't go beyond it. Now you want to push them to come out and vex en masse indefinitely. Sheung is expecting that the people are going to react furiously to this. He sounds like an APC member, but he is beginning to think like a human being. And Joshua Aloba here says, tell them soon they will be arrested since Tinubu is signing into law that it is illegal to protest. That is it. You are being enslaved. And Idris Dada here says, this is one of the security challenges we have been facing. Meanwhile, defense chief is not taking enough action to put an end to it. It is protesters they are worried about. And back to the issue of the bill trying to gag Nigerians into silence, Anonymous wrote, he said, dangerous. Nigeria is heading into full dictatorship. Tinubu is using Speaker of the National Assembly, Tajuddin Abbas, to pass a bill that will send you to prison for protesting, calling your leaders out for using your freedom of expression. I am not even joking. Say no to Abbas' bill. A bill that was not even up to this was what brought about a revolution in Kenya. How are Nigerians going to handle this? And Gode here says, I call this bill dead on arrival. No one can cow the freedom fighters Nigerians unless those who eat under them. Hashtag our refinery must work. Hashtag protest now. Hashtag end bad governance in Nigeria. And this tweet by Chef says, I hope they won't use their hands to destroy this hard-earned democracy. How can you be practicing democracy and you don't want to accommodate criticism? What is democracy without dissenting voices? They shouldn't forget power is transient. How would they criticize when they are out of power? They don't care. What they are saying is, while I'm there, let me amass as much wealth as possible. Then the country can go to blazes afterwards. And this tweet by Man of Grace, Oloye De Tom, says, APC came with all the appurtenances of despotism. The law is abysmal. The bill emanates from the crevices of devious entity who do not understand the workings of a state. We will protest as much as we want until government fulfills their promises. And School here says, dear at Omoyele Shore, why did we even do 10 days protest? It should have been indefinite protest. Well, strong intel says Nigerians are about to resume. And with this bill, I don't know what the people are waiting for, including the opposition. The likes of Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar should be at their loudest, because this is a final nail to the coffin if this is allowed to go through. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news where una go like. Why? Because now because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go.